Let's start from the beginning. Again, from the article Remembering by Bala Sulam. By this you will understand a profound matter. Although the generations are declining in value, they are expanding in the desired deficiency and the final correction.
The more they depart from feeling the light, the Torah, those things that were very close to the previous generations, they were finer. So the more we are from the thicker generations, the more crass ones, the more egoistic ones. But at the same time, our work is a lot more real.
It is so because the first generations were as the sons of Adam. They themselves had a great and awful deficiency in the prevention of godly work.
They felt they were missing it. They needed it to know godliness. Whereas until we get to it, we need to know about the universe. We need to know the forces that act on us in order to profit and succeed, not in order to come closer to the upper force, in order to become identical with it, to sympathize with it.
For this reason, their aspiration to serve Him emerged from the point of their absence.
They felt they needed to be in touch with the godly force, whereas we don't. We do want connection, but a practical connection, so we can use it, understand, feel, control. It's different from how they felt it.
Hence, they did not expand in their aspiration for fear of losing it entirely. They were quiet and content with the little they had attained. This is why they had small and short movements in their work. For due to their recognition of the great value, they settled for little.
That was the main point in their approach to spirituality. Whatever I have, I have. I sit quietly, I settle for it. I don't need more. It's not like they denied themselves of advancing toward it, but the type of souls was such that they didn't want great things. They were content with in their lives too. They sat. They were farmers. They were shepherds. They did simple things, and in that way, many years, centuries, and millennia went by. And it all stems from the souls that awaken in the animate body that belongs to the animate level, but the soul in it was still so fine that it didn't push them to take big strides forward. We saw this even in our generation. According to the fathers, the forefathers, etc. Even in the last several centuries, we can see how humanity started to accelerate more and more and more in the perception of reality, the perception of the world, and science and everything it built in the 20th century, which really brought us quickly, within 1 century, into the last generation. Yes?
This is the meaning of the declining merit of the generations until they arrived at the final shrinkage in our generation, when the author's wisdom is foul and they who fear sin are loathed. In that state, the crowd feels content and are not obliged to God's work at all, nor feel any lack in its absence. Even those who do engage in work, it is merely out of habit. They have no thirst or aspiration to find any speck of knowledge in their work.
Meaning the quality of bestowal, to bestow among themselves and upon the Creator, but only practically when we come to a state where we can control another piece of hidden reality, control our fate.
And should a sage tell them, "Come, let me teach you wisdom to understand and instruct in the Word of God," they already know their reply. I already know that I will not be as Rashbi and his friends, and let things stay as they are. And I wish I could observe the literal in full. However, it is said about them, the fathers have eaten sour grapes, and the children's teeth grow blunt. For they engage in Torah and mitzvot, commandments, that are unripe, and their children's teeth will grow utterly blunt. And they wonder why they need this work. It is for you and not for him. And you, too, blunt his teeth. This is the form of our generation with which we are dealing.
In other words, we see that people who do come and ask something about spirituality, their approach to spirituality is very pragmatic. What can I gain from this? How can I succeed with this? Out of the soul, the questions go in line with the development of the soul, the desire to bestow connection with everyone? Totally not. They don't understand it. And it's very difficult for the people who come today to the wisdom of Kabbalah, to us, to believe, to know that this is our work. Our work is to resemble the Creator, the good force, the good who does good. And only in this way can we reveal Him. As, by the way, we reveal all the forces in nature according to the law of equivalence of form. The law of equivalence of form operates in all of the thickness of nature, from corporeality to spirituality. And they aren't willing to listen to this and accept it and follow it. This is our generation. Of course, it is also how it should be. And we will have to overcome it. And we will be able to discover over this overcoming the upper force to the fullest. But the difficulty is a difficulty that exists in our will to receive, which the Creator created.